My beloved child, let me take your hand gently, because what I'm about to reveal will shake the ground under your feet. I want you to breathe slowly as you listen, because everything you thought you knew about your life, your destiny, your struggles, and your unanswered questions, is about to change forever. You are standing at the edge of a truth that has been hidden from you since the day you were born. And today, that truth has chosen to walk toward you. My beloved child, a secret property just became yours. Not by accident. Not by mistake. Not because someone felt generous. But because destiny finally caught up with you. A destiny that waited in silence, in shadows, in forgotten corners of your story, until the exact moment when your spirit was strong enough to receive it. You don't yet understand the value of what has just come into your hands. You don't know how long this property has been protected, guarded, and locked away. You don't know who hid it, who watched over it, or why the address itself carries a weight that might crush an ordinary person. But you are not ordinary. You were never ordinary. My beloved child. Before I tell you where this secret place is, before I take you to that shocking address, before I show you the photo that will freeze your heartbeat for a second, you must understand something deeply. You must understand that nothing, absolutely nothing, happened in your life randomly. Every pain, every loss, every delay, every night you cried alone, every door that shut on your face, all of it was shaping you for this one revelation. You see, this property. It is not just land. Not just walls. Not just a building. It is a key. A portal. A link between who you were, and who you are meant to become. My beloved child. You remember those moments when you felt abandoned? When you believed life forgot you? When you questioned why nothing ever worked out, why blessings always seemed delayed, why your hands remained empty even when your heart was full of hope? Those moments were not punishments. They were preparations. Because this secret property could not have been handed to someone unprepared, unstable, or unsure. It needed someone with a scarred heart, because only scarred hearts understand the weight of miracles. It needed someone who survived storms, because only survivors know how to protect a treasure. It needed someone who knows the value of small things, because this gift is not small, yet it hides in the simplest disguise. My beloved child. Let me take you into the moment it happened. It was early morning. The sky was gray, as if the world itself was trying to warn you softly. A message arrived. A letter. A call. A whisper. Something that didn't look dramatic from the outside, but when you opened it, time stopped. Your name was written there. Your full name. Not misspelled. Not shortened. Written in a way only destiny writes it. With precision, intention, and a strange familiarity that sent chills down your spine. You stared at the document, wondering if it was real. A property transfer notice. Your name. Your signature line, blank, waiting for your hand. For a moment, you thought it was a mistake. A scam. An error. Because why would a property, one you didn't know about, one you never visited, one no one ever mentioned, suddenly become yours? But then, there was something else. A seal. A symbol you had seen once before but couldn't remember where. It stirred something inside you, like a memory half buried under years of noise. And then you saw it. The address. My beloved child. The moment your eyes read that address, your breath caught. Because it wasn't just any place. It wasn't random. It wasn't new. It was something connected to your past. Something you had forgotten. Something you ran from. Something you dreamed about. Something that appeared in your childhood stories, in your old conversations, in the background of your earliest memories. You whispered the address to yourself again, and again. Each time feeling a strange pull, as if someone invisible was guiding your steps. You tried to ignore it. You told yourself you were imagining the connection. But you couldn't. Because deep inside, your soul recognized it instantly. My beloved child. There is a reason the address shocked you. There is a reason your hands trembled. There is a reason the entire world turned silent for a moment. But before we go to that address, before I take you there, you must understand what this property carries. It holds a story older than you. A promise made long before you learned to trust or doubt. A secret guarded by someone who once walked in your life quietly, maybe in the form of a parent, a grandparent, a stranger who helped you once, or someone whose face you can barely remember. Someone who left something behind, not for the world, but for you. My beloved child. This property was not just given to you. It was preserved for you. Hidden for you. Protected for you. And now, revealed to you. When you finally take the key in your hand, you will feel more than metal. You will feel a pulse. A vibration. A warmth. As if the key itself is alive and has been waiting for your touch. And the photo. Oh, the photo, my child. You are not ready for that yet. But soon. Very soon. Because once you see it, you will understand everything. The connection. The shock. The destiny. My beloved child. You decided to go see the property. Your heartbeat was loud, but something stronger pulled you forward. You didn't take anyone with you. Something inside whispered that this journey had to be yours alone. A private conversation between you and destiny. As you walked toward the location, the world looked different. The roads looked unfamiliar even if you had traveled them 1,000 times before. The sunlight fell differently. The air felt heavier. As if every element around you knew something monumental was about to happen. Your steps slowed as you got closer. Your heartbeat became louder. And the moment you turned the final corner, you froze. Because standing right in front of you was something you never expected. Something that didn't just shock you, it broke something open inside you. Your eyes widened. Your voice disappeared. Your mind struggled to believe what you were seeing. My beloved child. You whispered the address again, checking the paper. It matched perfectly. The same digits. The same street. The same place. But how? Why? Who? Every question rushed through you at once. You stood there, unable to step forward. You felt tears rising, not from fear, but from a truth you had avoided for too long. A truth you didn't know how to carry. A truth that was now standing in front of you, silent, powerful, unmovable. My beloved child. This was not a coincidence. This was not a surprise. This was a calling. And as you took your first step toward that shocking place, a breeze touched your face, soft, familiar, almost like a hand you once knew. You closed your eyes. And for the first time, you whispered words you never dared to say. I think. I know this place. My beloved child. My beloved child. Your feet felt heavy, but something gentle, something ancient, pushed you forward. As you walked closer to the property, the world around you blurred, as if everything else became unimportant. Your eyes locked on the old gate in front of you, rusted, half-bent, yet standing like a guardian who refused to leave its duty. Your fingertips brushed against it, and suddenly, a flash. A memory. A faint, distant voice. Someone calling your name softly, lovingly, like a lullaby you had forgotten. You stepped back, breath trembling. Because you recognized that voice. My beloved child. You pushed the gate open, and it groaned, a sound like a tired sigh from something that had been waiting far too long. You walked inside, and every step echoed through the silent air. The path beneath your feet was covered with fallen leaves, but it felt familiar, as if you had walked there in another lifetime. A strange calmness enveloped you. A feeling that you were not trespassing. You were returning. You looked around slowly. The walls. The broken lantern. The old neem tree bending slightly to the left. Piece by piece, your mind began stitching together fragments you didn't even know were missing. My beloved child. You reached the front door. Your hand hovered above the handle, trembling not from fear, but from recognition. As if your soul whispered, you have opened this door before. And when you finally turned the handle, the door didn't resist. It opened smoothly, almost respectfully, as if it remembered you. You walked inside. A smell hit you, old wood, dust, memories. You closed your eyes and inhaled, and suddenly, another flash struck you. A warm room. A soft light. A gentle hand on your head. A laugh. A voice saying, one day, all this will be yours. You opened your eyes abruptly, your heartbeat loud. My beloved child. You stood in the living room, staring at the walls. They were cracked, tired, but they held something that reached straight into your heart. You ran your fingers along them, and your chest tightened. Because even the cracks felt familiar. You walked to the corner of the room, the left corner, without thinking. Your body moved on its own, guided by something invisible. And there was a small wooden box. Old. Dusty. Locked. But when you touched it, the lock clicked open, without a key, without force. As if the box recognized your touch. My beloved child. Your hands shook as you opened the lid. Inside, wrapped in a faded cloth, was the photo. The photo you were warned about. The photo that would shock you. The photo that would answer the question you never dared to ask. You lifted it slowly, afraid yet compelled. And when your eyes finally met the image, You forgot how to breathe. My beloved child. Because in that photo, standing in front of the same house you were standing in now, was someone you once loved so deeply that losing them broke a part of your soul forever. Someone you thought was gone. Someone whose memory you buried because it hurt too much to remember. There they were, smiling, holding something in their hand. And next to them, a tiny version of you. Your knees weakened. You pressed your hand to your mouth, trying to stop the tears that were already falling. My beloved child. This house. This secret property. This shocking address. It wasn't random. It wasn't newly given. It wasn't an accident. It was your childhood home. The home you were taken away from. The home whose history you were too young to understand. The home that once held the laughter you lost. The home where someone whose face in the photo made your heart break all over again, had hidden something for you. You stared at the photo longer, tracing the outlines, feeling every emotion crash through you. On the back of the picture, you noticed something. There was handwriting. Faded, but still readable. You turned the photo over with trembling fingers. And there, written in the same familiar handwriting that once tucked notes in your school lunchbox, were the words, "My child, when the world tries to take everything from you, remember, this will always belong to you." You felt the earth disappear beneath your feet. Your vision blurred. Your chest tightened with a grief that felt fresh again. My beloved child. You whispered the name of the person in the photo. A name you hadn't spoken aloud in years. A name that tasted like love and loss and longing. And as you whispered it, the lights in the house flickered. Not violently. Not fearfully. But softly, almost like a nod. Like the house itself was responding. You looked around, heart pounding, tears running freely. That's when you noticed something else. A door at the end of the hallway. Closed. Silent. But you could feel someone, or something, waiting behind it. Your hands tingled. Your breath shook. Because you knew. Whatever was behind that door would change everything. My beloved child. You took one step toward it. Then another. The closer you came, the warmer the air felt, like someone was embracing you without touching you. When you finally reached the door, you placed your hand on it. And it felt warm. Alive. As if a heartbeat pulsed beneath the wood. You whispered softly, "Who's there?" And in that fragile silence, you heard it. A voice. Faint. Familiar. A voice you thought you would never hear again. My child, come in. Your breath stopped. Your heart stumbled. My beloved child. You weren't sure if the voice was real. You weren't sure if it came from behind the door, or from your memories, or from the aching corners of your heart that still longed for a presence you lost too soon. But something inside you, something ancient, something instinctive, something deeply spiritual, pulled you forward. Your fingers tightened around the door handle. With a trembling breath, you pushed the door open. The sound of the door shifting was soft, gentle, like a sigh, but what lay behind it made your heart collapse into itself. My beloved child. The room wasn't dark. It wasn't empty. It wasn't abandoned like the rest of the house. It was warm. Softly lit. Almost glowing. A small lamp illuminated the space with a golden warmth, the kind that touches your skin like a blessing. And in the middle of that room was a chair. A simple wooden chair. Old, but polished. Familiar. Painfully familiar. Your steps slowed as you moved closer. Each inch felt heavier, as if your soul knew what your mind was still afraid to accept. You reached the center of the room, and that's when you saw it. A notebook. Placed gently on the chair, as if someone had left it there for you just moments ago. My beloved child. You touched the notebook with shaking hands. The moment your fingers brushed it, your eyes filled with tears because you recognized the cover. You recognized the pattern. You recognized the smell. It was the notebook belonging to the same person in the photo, the person whose absence changed your life forever. The person who once held your tiny hand and promised you the world. The person whose memory lived in every corner of your heart but whose voice had faded long ago. You opened the notebook slowly. On the first page, you saw your name. Your full name. Written beautifully. Softly. With a love only one person ever wrote with. Your vision blurred as tears fell onto the paper. My beloved child. You turned the page. And there, written in that same gentle handwriting, were words that felt like they reached straight into your soul. My beloved child, if you are reading this, it means destiny finally brought you home. Your breath shattered. A sound escaped you, half gasp, half cry, as your knees nearly gave way. You forced yourself to keep reading. I knew one day you would return. I knew the world would push you, break you, reshape you, but I also knew that no matter how far life carried you, this house, the one built with my hands and filled with my prayers, would call you back when the time was right. Your hand covered your mouth as tears streamed down your face. My beloved child. The next line tightened your chest so deeply you felt your heartbeat stumble. This property is yours because your soul is tied to it. I saved it for you. I protected it for you. I hid it from the world, because I knew the world would try to take everything from you. But this they could never touch. You felt the room grow warmer, soft, comforting, like someone was standing right behind you. You turned the page. My child, I know life has not been kind to you. I know you have walked through storms you never deserved. I know you have cried in silence so many nights. I know you have questioned your worth, your destiny, your place in this world. Your throat tightened painfully. But remember this, you were born with a purpose. A calling. A strength that you cannot see but everyone else can feel. And when your heart feels empty, return here. Because this home carries your roots, your history, and a love that even death could not erase. My beloved child. Your hands shook uncontrollably as you turned another page, but the next message, it broke you open completely. I may not be able to stand beside you anymore, but my presence will never leave you. Every corner of this house holds my prayer for your safety. Every brick carries my wish for your future. And the key you now hold, it is not just to the doors of this house, but to the part of your past that will heal your future. A sob escaped you. Soft. Painful. But freeing. You lifted the notebook close to your chest and held it as if it were the last remaining piece of the love you lost. My beloved child. And then, the room changed. The light flickered gently. The air grew warmer. Your skin felt a soft touch, not frightening, not cold, but warm, like a palm placed on your shoulder from behind. You froze. You didn't turn. You didn't breathe. Because deep within you, you felt who it was. Not a ghost. Not an illusion. Not a shadow. A presence. A familiar energy. One you thought you would never touch again. Your tears fell faster as your lips trembled. My beloved child. The voice whispered again, clearer this time, closer, almost as if leaning toward your ear. You closed your eyes as your whole body shook. You whispered, barely able to speak. Are you really here? The air around you moved softly, like someone brushing their hand across your hair. And then, with a warmth that filled your entire being, the voice replied. I never left. My beloved child. You collapsed to your knees, overwhelmed, crying not from fear but from a love so powerful it cracked open every wound inside you. The room pulsed with a gentle light. Your heart felt held. Your soul felt seen. And the voice, full of love, full of peace, full of the tenderness you missed for so long, spoke again. Rise, my child. This home is yours now. Your sanctuary. Your inheritance. Your protection. Whenever the world hurts you, come back here. I will always be waiting. You lifted your head, tears streaming, breath trembling. And for a single, sacred moment, you felt their presence completely, warm, real, peaceful. Then the light softened. The air stilled. And the room returned to silence. But your heart knew the truth. They had been there. Watching. Guiding. Protecting. Loving you from a place beyond sight. My beloved child. You stood up slowly, holding the notebook against your chest, knowing your life would never be the same again. The property wasn't just a house. Not just an inheritance. It was a reunion. A message. A reminder. A spiritual doorway. And the moment you stepped out of that room, you felt lighter. Stronger. Loved. As you walked back toward the entrance, the house didn't feel empty anymore. It felt alive. Awake. Breathing with a warmth that wrapped around you like a soft embrace. My beloved child. When you finally stepped outside, closing the door gently behind you, you whispered, I'm home. And for the first time in a long, long while, you truly were.